South Florida is home to one of the world's most unique ecosystems, the Everglades. But just as unique as this ecosystem is also in danger. In recent Florida history, the Everglades have been reduced more and more every day, creating problems such as water restrictions, pollution, and contamination. Now, numerous restoration projects have been approved and started to recreate the natural habitat, but there's one structure that is impeding the reconstruction, and is a project entirely on its own. It is the Tamiami Trail.
You look at an older map of South Florida that includes Lake Okeechobee and lands to the south, it's very noticeable that the Everglades was a barrier. There was development along the east coast of Florida and then on the west coast of Florida, but there was no way to get across between those two sides. And so it was an interest in being able to put South Florida together for people that was the impetus behind developing the Tamiami Trail.
Construction on this trail began in 1915, and 13 years later it was completed. But in the process of building this trail, a 264-mile dam was also created, cutting off the vital water flow to the southern portion of the Everglades.
There's been a lot of changes in the environments over that time frame. You're seeing in the 40s there was, like, give you for instance just the road. The road was narrower, there was no guardrails, no shoulders, there was absolutely no levees. They started putting the levees in the 60s. In fact, the first levee over there went in 61. That's when we got a bridge so we could still operate on the north side if we ran out of water. Then in 75 they come back and build a bigger levee on the top, and we're back into the 80s and they come in and they build some flood control gates in it. So they're constant doing a change on, progress, or what they think is progress.
Just as the road went through a series of changes over time, so did the Everglades. With a devastating result falling parallel to the road enhancements, the struggling state of this ecosystem can easily be seen today.
When you look at the aerial photos of Tamiami Trail and the particular 10-mile stretch known as Northeast Shark River Slough, you will see that the actual Everglades are starting to dry up. The habitat is starting to change. The ecosystem is actually changing.
While the history of the trail and its relation to the Everglades has been bleak, plans have been drawn up to help reverse the damage that was done. Currently, there's a $30 million bridge being built along a 10-mile stretch of the trail that borders the Northeast Shark River Slough.
This is our #1 ecosystem restoration priority in the park, and for all of Everglades National Park, is to fix the Tamiami Trail. It's part of the Modified Water Deliveries Project, and right now we're in the process of building a 1-mile bridge and raising about 9 miles of roadway in addition to the bridge. The bridge is going to take, the expected construction completion date is May 2013.
While one bridge will bring a tremendous increase in the water flow in Everglades restoration, one bridge is not enough.
Well, we have a plan to go beyond the 1 mile of bridging. In fact, we have an approved plan now to add an additional 5.5 miles of bridging. We have a plan that's been supported by the Department of Interior. We don't have any funding for it, nor is it authorized, but if we're going to restore Everglades National Park, we need additional bridging and road raising because we need more water in the park.
Nearly 100 years after the trail has been built, and after numerous constructions made to the Everglades, it is finally being corrected. With a 1-mile bridge already under construction, and a plan to build an additional 5.5 more miles of bridges, the trail in a few years will no longer pose as an impediment to the natural sheet flow of the Everglades.
My dad, who's a World War II veteran, I showed him a picture. He's 91, soon to be 92, and I showed him a picture of this bridge that we're building, and his response was, "You've got a beachhead." And that's what we have here, a beachhead for Everglades restoration.